Abuse in the scuba diving industry. Unfortunately, it is not uncommon. Now, I'm not talking about physical or necessarily even verbal abuse. I more mean just the abuse of power used to get people who want to be scuba diving instructors or dive masters to work for a lot less money than we deserve. I want you guys to be as informed as you possibly can. So if you're looking to become a dive professional, whether it's a dive master or a scuba diving instructor in PADI or SSI or any shop in the world, you know what your rights are and what to expect when you're coming into this situation. Now, I'm sure if you started looking around the internet, you would have seen many internships that offer you work and they'll give you your certifications for free. This is a very common tactic a lot of big organizations employ to have a lot of unpaid labor, whether it's at their boats or their dive shops. Yes, it is good where you don't have to pay the money up front towards a dive master course or instructor course because they can be pricey. However, the amount of money that they are saving is significantly higher than would have been the cost of the course. Now, let's just do some math quickly. In a lot of these places, they'll give you your dive master, for example, for 3 months of work. But I'm not sure if in the fine details or in the big details, they let you know that this is quite often going to be 6 days a week. Average industry standard for some reason is 6 days of work a week. Potentially because it is seasonal, so you do have a bulk of work during one period of the year. Anyway, let's get the calculator out. If we do 8 hours a day, that's 48 hours a day. Minimum wage in Australia currently here is about $25, so that's $1,200 a week. Now, times that by 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month, by 3, that is $14,000 that you would have made on minimum wage. A dive master course costs anywhere between $2,500 and $5,000 depending on where you complete it and how much time they give you to complete it. $2,000 to $2,500. They're saving $12,000 by offering you this internship where you will work for 3 months for a certification that is worth $3,000. I know that experience is valuable, and in all sorts of ways people will guilt trip you. It's valuable experience, or it's part of the team spirit, or everyone here does this. But why? Why does everyone do this? And that is because that's become the industry standard, because so many people want to be scuba diving instructors that people just allow themselves to be taken advantage of, or because a lot of those people are travelers and they don't necessarily know their rights. Same thing happens with an instructorship. For example, they tell you they will pay for your instructor course, which now I do believe is somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000. I will double check and put the numbers up here. And then you have to work for them for, I don't know. I heard recently it was 100 days of work once you actually become an instructor. So let's look at that. Okay, let's be conservative. $220 a day. That is less than minimum wage for a 12-hour day when it's done hourly, but that is $22,000. So for 100 days of work, you could have made $22,000. This course cost $8,000 to even $10,000. They're saving a lot of money by having you work for free. There are so many people doing these particular zero to hero courses or quick internship turnarounds that you're not necessarily staying at the same dive shop afterwards, in which case the experience you've gotten and the contacts you've made don't necessarily translate to experience in the greater scuba diving industry. That even if you're doing a dive master course that you paid for example, I paid for my dive master course, I still did the work. Because I paid, I was also treated better. When I did the work, I did as many days as I needed to reach the point to be a successful dive master. So I think I personally worked about 3 weeks. Those days I got trained in the morning and then did my work on the dive boat and then maybe did a little bit of theory in the afternoon. So I had 3 weeks of an intensive course, which included me helping customers, helping them in and out of their gear. So I was still doing quote unquote work. What I wasn't doing is cleaning toilets, dealing with food, cleaning out the dive shop or the dive store or the dive bus. What a lot of these internships get you to do as part of the unpaid labor. So you get treated a lot better as well, and your time that you're working is purely focused on the things that PADI or SSI or whatever dive master instructor course you're doing requires you to do, because they want you to hit those milestones, they want you to be confident in those milestones, and they sign you off. There's also a dedicated person who was paid to teach you. Apart from being an unskilled person suddenly on a boat where you're with a bunch of other internship people and instructors that are running around doing their own thing, and then also are having to teach you, you get neglected a little bit. So you get asked to do, the cleaning up of things, the cleaning of the toilets and the puke. And I know sometimes part of boat life is, being part of the team and doing those jobs, but I don't think it's a fair, stereotype now that dive master is the boat bitch. You're there to learn to be a guide, to be a skilled person. Yeah, sometimes, you carry an extra tank, you go out of your way to help your instructor with something, you do help your customers, but you are not there to be a cleaner or to be at everyone's beck and call of their snap. You have rights and expectations of what this course is for you too. And that's kind of why paying for it will ensure a higher standard than if you just volunteer and intern. That's also because when you intern and you need a day off or whatever, they can be like, well, actually this is a requirement for your thing. They can guilt trip you. They can kind of show you, hey, look, the other interns are doing it. The other internship people are happy with these 12-hour work days, awful conditions, terrible food. You're the one who's whinging, and then you feel bad. So don't put yourself into that situation, because unfortunately, it happens a lot. In general, diving instructors and dive masters do not get paid that much money. If you want to see the video of why I stopped being a diving instructor, money is kind of part of it, but I explain it a bit better in that video. Oh yes, the thing I was gonna say is in a lot of these internships as well, because you're just part of their labor force, sometimes, quite often, I've heard that you get put in situations where you have way too much responsibility for what your certification and experience is. Because you're under this internship, suddenly, in a lot of cases, they think they can just throw you in and to be a dive master with the instructor to increase the amount of students that the instructor can be teaching or taking on a Discover Scuba dive. As a dive master intern or someone doing their dive master course, you should not be taking 4 uncertified divers alone underwater. Oh yeah, the instructor's right there, but that's 4 people who have no idea how to scuba dive, sometimes don't know how to swim, holding onto your arms, so you have to deal with 5 people's buoyancy when potentially it's day 2 on the internship. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. And the situations where this happens is where there's a lack of skilled work or companies that don't want to pay for the skilled work, so they get these internships as a way to save money. So it's not a job you go into to make a lot of money, but it is still important that you're getting minimum wage, health and safety requirements, that you're getting your lunch break, that you're getting the time, like any worker in any industry should. And we need to stand together to have dive companies realize they can't just keep taking advantage of people just because they don't know or they're from another country. They get that feeling of, oh, there's so much competition for this particular job or internship that they'll just do anything. So stand up for yourself. So there's of course internships that could be good and could give you an incredible experience. And it is up to you guys to do your research beforehand before you sign any contract or get into anything. You deserve better. You deserve to do a dive course where you have an instructor who is going to be taking care of you, who's your mentor, where there's not 500 various staff interchanging all the time where you don't really end up knowing exactly what your dive course is. If you do still want to be a dive master or instructor, watch my videos about all you need to know about what to expect, so you also know better what to ask when you go into a dive shop to learn about the options of what they can provide for you. So instructor course, dive master course, I want you to be the best dive professional possible, because we need people to be educated about how to safely dive, to keep people safe, but also go into a bit more depth than just that. How do you be an eco-conscious diver? How do we protect our oceans? How do we dive in conjunction, in joining with our oceans, rather than just take from it like a lot of these big companies do? So we care about more than just the dollars. We care about our actual impact. And I guarantee you, if you have 4 divers attached to you, your buoyancy will not be perfect and you guys will be hitting coral. Let me know your experience with any scuba diving abuse stories, the boat bitches, etc. Let me know your thoughts.